What's the difference between compromise and collaboration? And that's such a great question. But for me, I need to go a little bit deeper. And I first want to point out the word consensus, which is also, so for me, the way I think about it, consensus is something where we follow a specific process and we find together an agreement on something. And that can also cause some conflict along the line. Now, a compromise is something where all the parties involved, they lose out on something. For me, a compromise is mostly, the way I think about it is that, well, I give something, I don't get something I want to have, and therefore you have to drop something as well. Now, the important thing is I probably want to lose less than the other parties, because if I did that, I did good negotiations. So a compromise is hopefully more in my favor than for the other ones. But if you really think about, is that compromise you get to at the very end, is that really in the interest of the organization, the initiative, or whatever you work for? And so for me, this is where I think collaboration is the underlying activity we do every day, but compromise is probably the worst thing you could do in regards to trying to work together and collaborate, try to achieve a very good consensus. And conflict is not necessarily a bad thing if managed well, because I mean, I have different opinions than you have, but if we adhere again to the Scrum values, being respectful and so on, open for other ideas, strong opinions loosely held. That's a sentence I like to think about as well. And in the end of the day, if we can manage to use all of that to come together to find consent about an answer about something, but not necessarily compromise, because I think compromise, well, you know what, you don't get that, I don't get that, can you live with this? Yes, we can. But then we might have something which is mediocre.